Hey everybody, Iron Leprechaun coming at you. Welcome to 2024, and I decided to do a series of videos based on something I talk about a lot in my videos, where a lot of my principles through a lot of my subject matter comes from, and that's the 12-step program. Now, I'm not picking anyone in particular. Um, there's multiple. There's overeaters. There's alcoholics, drug addicts, gambling, porn, sex, all these things. Um, but I'm just going to go with a general sense and call it addiction, because that's what it is. And let's let's break it down. I'm going to start with step one. Now, step one is a big one. It's getting your foot in the door. There has to be some sort of inspiration or motivation to get people into the door of the 12 step meetings. And what that does is introduces people to a fellowship and eventually the step work. And step one can be broken up into two parts. And when I say the step, you'll understand what I mean, perhaps. Now, I want to reiterate: if you don't belong to any of these 12-step groups, this still can apply in your life. There's so many people that don't understand how much something has control over their life. And that is what the point of this channel is to take my experience with addiction or being controlled by an outside person, place, or thing, and trying to overcome that so that I can have a better handle on my life. And again, remember to click the like, click subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, and share this with your friends. You might get something out of it, they might. That's why I'm sharing it. I got something out of this, you might too. So let's break it down. Step one: we admitted we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. Again, the word "and" almost separates it into two pieces. So we're going to go with the first part, just for the purpose of keeping the video short, and then maybe later this week or perhaps on the weekend I'll do the second part. We admitted our lives... No, that's unmanageable. We admitted we were powerless over our addiction. So that word there does not strike a positive chord with most people. Powerlessness. Nobody wants to admit that. Whether we think we're garbage or have a low opinion of ourselves, low self-esteem, low self-worth, all these things, even then, because I've been there, I know, even then it was hard for me to accept this word powerlessness and then to admit that I'm powerless. You know, nobody likes to do that. We all have a sense of pride, and pride isn't bad. It's, one of the big sins, but to have some pride isn't always bad. I pride myself in my appearance, my work ethic, how I my interactions with people and how I treat them. So that I pride myself in doing good in these things. So it's not always a bad thing. It's the excessive pride. It's the excessive ego and all that stuff that usually drives us to a place where it's not being used correctly. And by correctly, I mean it can harm ourselves and or others. So powerlessness, I don't like it, but there's some truth behind it. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, which I believe we should, there are things we're powerless over. Okay? And I had to come to grips with that. When I walked into 12-step recovery groups, it wasn't hard for me. I walked in with a trail behind me of wreckage. It was very clear. It was very clear. So if you're not there, it can be even harder to come to grips with this. But bear with me, maybe take some time and look at this. And to put it into perspective for people that aren't on a complete losing streak and losing their home, their family, their jobs, their health, all these things. You can be outside doing some yard work. It's a decent day. Maybe not the best day. Maybe it's a fall day or a spring day, and the weather could change. And so we're out doing yard work, and it's decent. I got enough clothes to keep me warm, but not too warm because I'm moving and I don't want to excessively sweat, and I'm getting some stuff done. And then all of a sudden the wind picks up. I'm like, okay, well, that kind of feels good. I'm sweating a little bit. But with that wind, it brings in some clouds. and it's going to rain. You can see it coming. All of a sudden you feel the drop. Now, there are two avenues to take here. I can get upset, angry, push through, force myself to do the work in the rain. Well, maybe I'm digging ditches and now the mud's coming because the rain's here and I can't dig as well, or I'm not going to succeed in my endeavor. Or I can accept my powerlessness over the weather, which is something nobody has control over, put my tools away, walk my ass inside, and call it a day. So that's just a basic example. There are things out of our control. And I know when you get to an addictive mindset, it's so hard to accept that and to go with that, because I am a man who executes perseverance. I see the goal, I see the target, and I go, and I will try my damnedest to achieve the goal. And that's admirable. That's admirable. I commend people that can do that. Not only because it's a positive attitude to have, strive for what you want, but at the same time, I'm that way too, so I get it. But the problem lies when I keep beating my head against that wall and I can't break through the wall. I have to admit my powerlessness. And this comes easier to some and harder for others. Some people struggle with it for a long time. I was lucky to walk into 12-step groups on a losing streak, so it was really easy. I didn't have to look back very far behind me to see that there were some things I was powerless over. Now, I still struggle with it today. I still do. I see the target. I push, I pound, I get it. And sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, I realize my powerlessness, and I have to step back, ask my higher power to not do it for me. God, I don't want to believe God works that way. Sometimes he might, but usually he doesn't. I ask for direction in how to handle this situation and then trust that God's going to handle this. That's how I run that. So we're getting a little longer than I wanted to, but this whole first month, we're going to be breaking down a lot of things that involve this step one. Again, later this week, I'm going to hit on the unmanageability part, which ties right up into this. So stay tuned. There'll be other videos about other things, but that's going to be kind of the theme this month. So I welcome your comments, your dialogue, and hope you all are having a good start to your 2024. See you soon.